Hello folks, welcome back. Today I have a rather large board game to pull out of the box. This is the long-awaited Nemesis Retaliation from Awaken Realms. It's the third iteration of this Nemesis saga. I did not get everything for this, but I got quite a lot, obviously. We're going to open that right now. This one did have some tariffs, so I paid $7 extra. Almost a whole coffee. And I happily did so to get this here today. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I'm in a long box like this, not only because I've got a couple of big boxes, but I've got a play mat, and I'm sure this is the best way to fit it in here. Let's see what all we got. Quite a few things. Quite a few things kind of piled up here. Alright. Okay, I'm not sure what's that. Oh, this is getting slid in. Okay, so here we have the Untold Story. So it's got some tokens and stuff with it too. So this is like a comic book, and what it is it's kind of got this ongoing campaign. It's a different mode. It's a different way to play the game. So you play a little bit, and then some stuff happens, and you open that. You go to places and read. Let's go ahead and really get here. So we've got our, there's always this letter from Awaken Realms that kind of says thanks for backing it. And some important notes about missing components. They got all the information you need in case this didn't come out the way you need it to. And I'm anticipating I won't need this, so I'm just going to put this away. Just in case. I always kind of file this away with the rest of the game. Just in case I notice something later I didn't notice it first. Okay, anyway. We got the core box, Nemesis Retaliation. Quite a bit of lid lift because I think there's a lot of punch boards and stuff we're going to have to deal with. And we've got an art book. These Nemesis art books. This isn't something I bought special. It came with the pledge that I got. I usually would opt out of these if I could, but I think that this is kind of a little extra thing that I like to throw in, and they're nice. I do look at them. Now we've got the Nemesis Retaliation acrylic tokens core box. So this is going to be acrylic replacement tokens for all the core box elements in Retaliation there. Okay. Oh, and here's a little picture of them. Of course, we'll open these and look at them in a minute. Awaken Realms is really good with their tokens and stuff. Those acrylic tokens are always really, really nice. And now we've got a different expansion. This is the Support Squad expansion. It's got two more characters and looks like a drone or something. We got acrylic tokens for the stretch goals. So that's going to be this stretch goals box here. We got acrylic replacements for those tokens. And we've got the terrain pack. So this terrain pack, again, replaces some cardboard components, further deluxifying things. And yeah, we've got some not cardboard picture components of a lot of different elements here in the game. Of course, we've got a player mat, a rather large player mat. And the stretch goal box. This box looks to be about the same size as Lockdown, and lots of cool stuff. Boy, I haven't paid as much attention to this one in terms of what's going on in here, especially the stretch goals and stuff. I know a lot about what the idea of this game is, versus, especially when compared to the last version of the game. But before we really dive into all of these, I think it's time for a little family photo. Okay, folks, we got it all out and on the table. Oh, wow, there's a lot of stuff. I think it's time for a quick thumbnail. And we're going to start with, let's just start with the core box Retaliation. Would actually be pretty interesting. I would like to take a look at this mat and see. I was curious about a couple of things. One, is it double-sided? Looks like it is. Looks like it is. Very good quality. We got the stitching in here. It's very subtle. This is a little bit different than I've seen in some of these mats. It's really, really subtle, like kind of bulky right there, nice and smooth. The print on it, Looks pretty crisp. It looks like we've got like a red side and a green side. I'm going to flip this over and kind of examine it. Huh. This side is a lot more blank. There must be like a different game mode or something to play on this side. Let's see what this side looks like. Oh, you know, huh. It's just kind of a little different. It's not, it's a little different, not quite the same. Is it the same? What am I looking at? Oh wow, this really spells out where all the potentially all the things can go, whereas this is just kind of open. That's interesting. I'll have to read more about that and see what's going on with it. All right, take a quick look at the exterior of the box. Same great artwork that we're used to seeing in here. It really kept it very consistent, like thematically, the way the art looks and stuff. Very nice. Let's open her up here. We've got a rule book. Now this is different. The rule books in the past were with a big floppy like this size. So they've gone back to a more concise, or that smaller format rule book, which I'm not mad about. I got a video tutorial where you can learn the rules right now if you want. I've been watching One Stop Co-op Shop. Who got his early because he's a lucky do, and it looks quite different than the other versions of this game. And I'm not mad about that. I like the other ones, but I like that they're switching things around. Looks like we're all the way up page 39 here, and it looks like we're still reading the rules. There's no index or anything back here. We do have a little bit of an icon glossary on the very back. Intruder, oh gosh, yeah. A lot of rules. A lot of wordy rules. Watching the playthroughs and stuff, it really didn't look that complicated. But man, when I see 39 pages and it's just all rules, I usually hope that the rules end about halfway and then we're explaining other kinds of game modes, which might be the case because I have not read this at all. Okay. Rooms help sheet. This is very familiar from the last game. A little explanation for the different rooms that you'll come to. Objectives help sheet. Okay, objectives I think are a little bit different in this game. And got a little bit more interpretation of those. Now we're into the cardboard that we're pulling out. Oh boy, there's a lot of miniatures in there. Looks like we have we got this little player guide, which reminds me a lot of CMON, like that real thin paper CMON kind of thing, jammed in there. And we've got a lot of corridors. Now the sound, one way that the sound works differently in this game is the corridors have what sound roll they're going to have. So all these corridors are going to have numbers and stuff, and you'll also have the opportunity to secure them so they won't make any sound and stuff. So that's cool. And then we've got the ammunition tokens here on the side. These will be replaced by acrylics. In fact, almost everything that's a token in here is going to be replaced by some acrylics. And we got the number 2, some number 2s, some number 3s, and another kind of token, and number 4s, and another kind of token. And they're all like zeros on one side, some other number on this side. What we got here? Got a couple more number 4 tokens here. And it looks like we're starting to punch out some other stuff. We've got a marker for our ship to indicate the landing zone. I don't know if that's a turn marker, radiation, or what. One of the contractor characters. This is going to be a little board that goes up at the top of the map. that this helps us determine if the queen's been vanquished or not. And we've got another set of tokens here. So these are all the tokens you'll be drawing out of the bag for the aliens or the intruders as they appear. These are all replaced with acrylic. Not sure on these or what they're for. Got another little sideboard component of the game. And, oh wow, it's really interesting in between here, the art that they've mixed in. So, I guess these are the different rooms. We've got some other tokens going on. Yeah. Got the little room letters and stuff, because you don't know usually what they are until you go to put it down. Here's some more rooms. These are oxygen markers. You have to turn on the oxygen as you go to the different areas in here, or carry some oxygen with you. When you run out, you start to choke to death, because space. Still going through the rooms, we got a first player token. Again, this is going to be replaced in the stretch goal box, I think, with something else. We got some eggs. Those look very familiar. Those do a lot of things. The rooms are quite a bit different. The way you go to room is different. The way they attach is different. Yeah. Not sure what this little thing's for, of course, but yeah, we're just still going through rooms here. And it looks like this is, here's the Hypertorium, so that's probably the big top room at the top of the map. It's more oxygen and other things. Also, we've got doors. These are all the little cardboard doors and stuff. They're very tiny. Again, replaced by the terrain pack, if you've got the terrain pack. So a lot of this cardboard just can come straight up out of the box. I found an insert. I found an insert for Lockdown that basically held its whole core box and its stretch goal box about this size. So I'm hoping I can find another insert, or someone will make an insert that can support all of this stuff together, because that's a lot more convenient. All right, we got some more big play boards for the side of the board. These are going to be things that your little countdown clock and your landing zone, and some stuff at the top of the map. Here's some boards that you put on to kind of indicate which of the characters you're picking. And they kind of have these archetypes based on these colors, and they kept that going through this. I think you can bring other Nemesis characters in to do these things too, but I'm not sure. These are little oxygen. Oops, these are little oxygen meters that are going to attach to the side of your player board, and you'll count those down to see how you're doing with air. These are just coming out real simple, like very well cut. Cardboard's good. They just fall right out of here. Yeah, I love it. So far, it looks like a very good quality cardboard. All right, let's pull this out. Okay. So I'm going to do, I will fully paint all of these and give you a super good look. But I think what we're going to do is I'm going to leave them in tray and kind of give you a quick look at some of these things. Now, this here is a robot, and maybe I can't do that. let me show you this here. So this here is a robot that you can program, and it's got there are different types of robots, and you don't know which one it's going to be. So it's got these things that attach to the top of it, so you can switch it out. You know, depending on which card you draw for the type of robot it is, you can switch it out, and it could be a number of different robots. But I think you get one here, and then there's more in the stretch goals. Let's take a look at these other heroes. So these are all the heroes you could be. Think of all the heroes you could be. And again, it's based on the Nemesis color-coded archetypes. All the cool stuff. I really love that Lockdown had a janitor with like a hose and stuff. It was just a very human thing. But this is more of a military style game. So think Aliens versus Alien, if I was going to use that as my comparison. And I think a lot of people will. Because of that, all the creatures have been scaled down. Whereas in the older games, the creatures were much, much larger than all the people. Here, because there's going to be lots and lots of them, sort of like you're fighting hordes of aliens, they've been scaled down to these kind of tiny little things here. Looks like there might be several different poses of these. I'm going to hold up 2 of these little aliens, since there's just so many. And these are in bags of 5, so there's just hordes and hordes and hordes of these. And lots of different poses, which will be fun to make it more fun to paint. Although I think painting this is going to be quite a bit more involved than all the other ones. The Nemesis Lockdown, I feel like I painted all of it in a week, because this stuff's so easy to paint with some contrast paints and stuff. Let's take a look at the Queen. This Queen's pretty good. Let's just pull her out. Let's just pull her out of there. All hail the Queen. Yeah, she looks pretty good. Some of their sculpts are a little bit ambiguous, like with the aliens and stuff. While I don't mind any of the miniatures and stuff, this isn't a game where the miniatures are my favorite part of it. I like that it has them and they look okay, but the quality of them has been sort of mid at best. The original game was probably the worst for the miniatures, like the first one they put out. Like the aliens were okay, but the people were pretty bad. Like they weren't fun to paint. They came out really simple. And not very detailed or anything. There's probably old videos to catch on that. They did try to redo that later on with some resculpts when they did Lockdown, and you had the option of buying more. I don't think I did though. And if I remember correctly, they wanted you to be able to take those old miniatures from the old game and use them in this game too. I think originally the scale of the heroes was going to be lower too, but I'm not sure. I think they might have nixed that to make it easier to bring in other Nemesis characters if you wanted to. And I'm not sure they eventually did that, but I think that's what they had in mind. Another thing about this game system that's been, I think part of its popularity is just very, very modular. So you can take a piece out and insert another piece. You don't want to use these characters. You want to use your character from Nemesis or something like that. Usually, like in the 2 different Nemesis, the previous 2 Nemesis games, you could swap things out pretty readily. All right. All right, so now we have a dashboard. This is way different than the last game. Huh. Well, we got our place for this is where the oxygen marker is going to fit in. But this dual layer board, if I remember correctly, the old Nemesis is just a flat, just a flat board. But we got some cut-ins here. Got our cut-in here where our character's portrait will go. Yeah, we got our cutout here where when you pick a character, that's where their portrait goes. A little cheat sheet for actions and stuff that you can take. Got your indicator for right and left hand. You got some little places to put chits and stuff. So you got some equipment spots that are. This is all different. This is way different. We got a little track now, where you move your little dial up here for injured to heavily injured. That's pretty different. Dead. Right there at the end. Okay. So it'll be interesting learning about this because it's obviously changed a little bit. All right, and inside here, it looks like we have some standees for the doors. I don't need these. These will go in my little box of stuff I get in games I don't need. And we got some gears that these indicate that a room is. We got fire tokens, just like the old game. Noise tokens, just like the old game. We got our little marker to indicate where we're at on the time. Little glass bead, and the universal markers, of course, the little red cubes. We've got a couple of new kind of dice. And maybe the noise dice are different too. I don't know if they have danger on them like they used to. I'm pretty sure these yellow ones are the noise dice. They have up to 4. And then they got this crazy little symbol on them. And then we got our shooting gun, then we got our shooty dice. I think this is when you shoot in a room, and this is when you shoot in a hallway. So you do this burst shot and just like shoot a whole bunch of stuff in a hallway. That's the good one, right? And I think this one's that's a headshot. So that's the super good one on this die. We've got, this is an old familiar thing. This is the contamination checker. So you'll be putting your little red thing in here and reading it to see if you've been contaminated or not. This has been in every version of the game and is a really fun element. Looks like they've integrated some pull out and play stuff. This is where all those corridors are going to go, and you're going to kind of pull them at random. I guess you shuffle them all and put them in here and pull them at random. That's cool that it's designed to sort of just pull right out of there and come and go. And we got some more on-table storage here in the form of this little token tray. Awaken Realms is really good about including these token trays in their stuff. They did that with Stalker too. It looks exactly the same. We got some dashboards. These are a lot smaller, I want to say, than some of the original dashboards, but they usually do that because if you play the semi-co-op, you might want to keep some of your equipment and stuff secret. So you got these little card holders that indicate, first player, second player, so on. These are a little bit more designed than the last one. They got a lot of details, subtle details here inside the plastic. And I don't think there's anything under them, so I'm just going to put this back. I'm not going to go through the cards today. We will save that for a playthrough. We do have a draw bag. And they've done one of the nice... this is one of the nicer bags. So this is like sort of the Castles of Burgundy, although this feels like fabric and not leather. But they've made it so it'll sit flat on the table like that. And your big giant hands can fit in there. It's really hard for me to get my hand in this hot stuff usually. But no, that's really nice. Came out really, really good. Let's shove it back in here. And we do have cards. Like I said, I'm not pulling them out just because I got so much stuff to go through. But, yeah, get a sense of the amount of cards that you're going to get. Of course, some different decks here. They tend to leave extra room in case you want to sleeve your cards. Although it seemed like in the other Nemesis game, I had a real hard time fitting my cards in sleeved. Man, I think there should be plenty of room in here though. This really looks like a decent amount of room, so hopefully it won't be a problem in this one. Got lots of little cards in this. This game is kind of a card game. You're flipping cards a lot. You're paying cards to do actions, searching through cards to get other items. These are mostly items and other little gameplay elements. And I think that is all of the Retaliation box. All right, a lot of content in there, but let's see. Maybe let's look at these tokens real quick. That'll be kind of a quickie thing. So not pictured here is actually the token set from Lockdown. I didn't get an acrylic token set for Nemesis. These are kind of a fairly new product with this line, and they have offered it for the previous versions of the game. In the old versions of the game, especially with the little tokens that you'd pull out of the bag, I would put those in encapsulated coin cases and stuff, and that worked really good for kind of giving this sort of a feel to the tokens and stuff when you're pulling them out of the bag, and that way you didn't have something. You know, when you pull cardboard stuff out of a bag, sometimes you can maybe potentially feel something and know that you had the queen token was a little bit different, or they get damaged or whatever eventually over time. So these are little acrylic tokens. These look like the round tokens you'd pull out of the bag here. And maybe some corpse tokens or something. Let's see if I can get some of these out. Yeah, I'm not sure what these tokens actually represent, but there's these things. And here are some of the round ones. I just did one of the tubes. You can see these are the aliens that you're going to pull out of the bag to determine which bad guys show up. Really nice quality. These were for the stretch goals, so there might not be all that much in there. Let's take a look at the Retaliation tokens. We've got all those tokens we were seeing along the side of that wooden panel. We got like oxygen here. These are ones to say that the room is secure. They'll translucent blue, and we got our bullets. I'm not sure what this one is actually. I don't really know what the purple one is, and these green ones here. Cool. These are all direct replacements to the little cardboard, those little cardboard pieces, and then we've got more of these alien discs that we will pull to see how many aliens show up. All right. Again, just like the other tokens, but not cardboard. All right, and here is the terrain pack. Fits a little bit nicer right there. Let's take a look inside. This is another replacement of cardboard, making it more plastic and less cardboard on the table, kind of enhancing the look. And they've got a little guide for where all the things go back, which is always appreciated. So let's pop the top off here and have a little look at all the stuff. So here's a ship that we're landing in, and this will go to the landing pad. Oh, that's really nice. It's going to be a lot of fun to paint. You got the little ladder coming out the back of the spaceship. It's just going to sit there on your landing pad. A different type of alien egg. There's been a couple of these, if I remember correctly. And right here, these kind of look like generators, like they might be engines or generators of some sort. Don't they look like turbines? Not sure. I believe this is an anti-aircraft gun. Again, very impressive looking. Really neat. And we've got the doors. And these doors, they learned some lessons from the last game. So in Lockdown, they have these doors too. And so you put the door out instead of the standee. And then when they break through, boom, you can break the door. But on Lockdown, those doors were so tight, they just barely opened, whereas these things look like they very easily could just kind of come off. So I'll paint all these up too, but yeah, a new set of doors. These are different. I think these are all doors in here. Is there anything else? Yes. Yes, there is. Let's see what we got. All right. Looks like, just like the last game, we've got little corpse versions of all the people. So as they die, you can lay their corpse down. So here's this soldier. It looks like he's standing up. like this soldier that looks like he's standing up, but he's really limp in there. The suit's standing up on his own, and he's just kind of dead inside of it. Oh man, this person is just straight up face down into their screen. That's like me every single Monday. And a few more examples of our fallen friends. These here look like other robot parts. Yeah. So these will all fit onto the robot. It's strange that it's in the terrain pack. I would think that would be in the stretch goals, but okay. Let's take a quick look at these things. We got some miniguns. I'm sure the robot with this on it would be very appreciated in this game. And I'm not sure what this is. Looks like he's got some big eyes or something. Maybe it's a science one. And this guy almost looks like a landing pad. Oh, you know what? I bet this one's like a surgeon. Looks like he's going to do medical scans. He's got little bones and stuff. That's going to be fun to paint. How neat. He's got a little gurney built onto the back of him. And I don't think we saw these two, right? Again, not sure what this robot's purpose would be. Or this one for that matter. This looks like it's like all supplies. Oh yeah, he's carrying all kinds of supplies and stuff, so maybe he's just got a bunch of stuff on him. This guy looks like maybe he'd do repairs. He's there to fix things. Could be. But that looks like it's that's all for the terrain pack. So we'll put this up for now. A lot of stuff in there, a few surprises with those other robot parts. I don't know if without this, he's only one type of robot. I didn't see any cards to go with it. I assume all the different cards for the way the robot is. Or maybe you just play what the card is and don't worry about what's on his back unless you got the stuff to swap it out. Alright, this was a cheaper expansion. It's just got a couple of things in it. I kind of added it at the last minute. That wasn't part of my pledge, I don't think. It's one that I just added in. Let's see here. Whoop. A couple of loose things in there. Lost a yellow base. Alright, so we got a UVA operator. And a sharpshooter. Got some little, got some tokens. There is a version of this game you can buy that's all tokens and stuff. That wouldn't be so bad. I like the miniatures now. I like the miniatures, the modern ones that they've made. But yeah, if I was going to play with tokens, it wouldn't be. I think it'd still be a really fun game with the tokens. I guess is what I'm saying. So here's the two. Here's the two characters in there. I got the sniper. Got this drone operator. And then his drone right here. On a little flying base. And of course, like with all characters, they've each got their own set of character cards. With some that are the same and some that are individually geared towards them. And some equipment cards as well. Also got the rings, help you identify who's who, and some standee stands. Looks like we have a little explanation on the support call expansion. Very good. And here we have the art book. The artwork in Nemesis is really, really good. Really, it's probably aside from the gameplay mechanisms themselves, the artwork is one of its big strong features that makes it unique. The style of it is very good, very unique. While I probably wouldn't have purchased this, if it didn't come within a package, it is super handy to have something like this when you go to paint. So when I go to paint these, I'll probably have this book down there sort of referring to it. But, you know, the color in these is kind of, sometimes it's hard to interpret exactly what I'm looking at. Is that purple? Is that blue? You know, so, but it does kind of give you a little something to go by. A little something more than nothing, anyway. Oh boy, that's a scary guy. So, in short, these little add-on books just kind of are something to go into the pile. I think some people really love them, some people maybe, but I'm kind of lukewarm on them, but I see the utility in them, and I do enjoy having that, so great. There it is. This Untold Stories number 4, I don't think I've ever done any of the Untold Stories things, and maybe I should. But what I do know for sure is that it's probably chock full of spoilers. So I'm not even going to flip through it. The artwork in this is pretty good. Again, it's a little different than the inside of that. This has some tokens that are loose and like going all over the place inside of here. So not sure what's up with that. And some more tiles. But I'm just going to let this sit in here and be a mystery for a little bit longer for me. That leaves us with just the stretch goals. And here we got it. Nemesis Retaliation stretch goal box. And a quick look at the back. A lot of stuff. Ooh, a lot of miniatures in this one. Let's get in here. All right. We got enhancement expert here right off the top. Contractor's rules sheet. All right. Insider expansion rulebook. The insider expansion is kind of a neat thing. It's a set of cards and a character, and she's going to kind of wander around and do things and kind of add a little bit of story. Sort of like a really light version of doing it this way. I think that she just kind of adds some elements to it. A survivor that's there that you encounter as you're moving around. And sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. Meet Me at the Table just did a playthrough where you lost horribly, but it had one of these in it. So if you're curious about that, I definitely check it out. Got the Neofish Cult expansion rulebook. So we've got another kind of intruder, which is good because I don't think the other intruders are going to be compatible with this game, so at least I'll have two different types. There was one more expansion. Nemesis is real bad for just a ton of expansions. So there's another expansion of these things with yet another alien race, and I did not get it. Because probably what I play with the least in these Nemesis games is these other alien expansions. I tend to play with a core box alien or maybe something else, and I don't venture out a whole lot because the games end up being kind of long. And I lose. First couple of times the lockdown I lost, so I kept wanting to fight eventually try to beat the guys. So we got, this was a unique version of this for this particular alien race. Oh, we got a couple more characters. Contractor Sentry, Contractor Hacker. These are from Lockdown. All right, so okay. You got Lab Rat and Survivor. So now this set's going to allow you. Okay, and these are just don't want to be there, so we'll just take them out. These are going to allow you to add characters from the other game. Yes, you can bring the janitor in. or the mechanic. And here's those tokens that we found there. All right. Yes, she was probably my favorite character of Lockdown. Oh, now we're down into Nemesis. We got all the Nemesis characters too. So okay, that's cool. So that at least that part of it is modular, and we can bring all those characters into this game too. We got the pilot, contractor, all our familiar friends like Gwyneth Paltrow. Maybe. Shh, don't tell. Okay. We got their tokens. Of course, these have all been replaced by acrylics. And we got their stuff here. Wow, this is interesting. They're gold. Wow. Is that a paint on there? Okay, I'm really curious. Curiosity is piqued. Because I don't get Sundrop. They do offer this offer a Sundrop. Oh wow, they Sundropped all the stretch goals. Look at that. So I never pay for Sundrop because I'm gonna paint these and stuff. But it looks like they did Sundrop the stretch goals, and I don't know if it made more sense to send them all out that way, or what. I'm very surprised because I don't think that they did this last time. Anyway, so here's the first player token. We got, is this a platypus? What is this? We got Perry. It's Perry the platypus, a first player token. We got one of those dice. I just opened one of these the other day. A little funky dice for Stalker. We got the cat in there. Yeah. Awaken Realms has a whole set of these. They're pretty cool. I think this is the Insider. She got some little jets on her back for some reason. There's the Insider. I'm fascinated that these are that this is done already, and I have no idea what this is. She already got her base on. Who's that? Another little character there. Let's look at these things. Gold. Gold's a really weird color for an alien race, but I guess they're kind of like maybe they're living metal or something crazy like that. There's a couple of them. Not sure what I would do paint-wise on these. I'll be curious to see what other folks are doing. And maybe I'll take a good quick look at the artwork and see if there's anything to guide me there. There are lots and lots of these. Let's look at what's probably the queen. Well, they actually did. There's actually these washes. The way they do them, they're usually like two colors. It'd be kind of a couple of different colors and then black. So they sort of do a zenithal to it and then highlight it over. This is there's some couple of distinct colors in there. This definitely looks like some sort of a mechanical race of intruders. We'll take out a couple of these and look at them. Again, you know, kind of like the other ones, they're just a lot smaller. These look like little turtles. Onward, war turtles! You can't stop my insidious horde of war turtles. Dum, 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 dum. I'm sure they really need these bags. See what we got going on here. Ooh, this one's got like kind of a scorpion look to it. Yep, yet another really strange race. Very odd to see, but I like it. Got a set of small cards. Some little character items. The set of cards, usually these sets of cards are individually made for each alien race. They have their own kind of set of cards. And we got a spacer in here, so they left room for you to sleeve, which is really sweet of them to do that. I appreciate that. We got some rules for the Lucky Burst die, which is going to be that crazy dice we looked at a minute ago. And more stuff, probably related to these guys specifically and the characters. All the different character actions and stuff. And the draft. You can draft who your hero is, or you can pick one. I like to just pick them, so I can do different ones every time. And folks, with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'll be back real soon. These are immediately going to hit the paint table. I'm going to get the core box painted. Well, I painted Lockdown in about a week. I'm guessing it's going to take more time, at least 2 or 3 weeks to paint this. But by next month, by August, I'm going to have this all the way painted, and it'll be back up here on YouTube for you to check out. Be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see that. I'd like to do a playthrough too. We'll see how it goes. Owen and I had an amazing time playing the original Nemesis, and I'd love to walk him through this one too. I'm sure he's happy to help me learn this about this particular version of the game. The other thing I usually do with these videos is I like to reorganize, like go back in there and clean it up and stuff. There's just way too much stuff in here to go through that quickly, so I think I want to just put this video out. So while I'm painting this, I'm also going to be shopping for an insert for this, or shopping for an insert file that I can use to print out and make a story and all of this real unique. I did a Stalker one for one that I bought, but I'm not sure. I don't know if people are really interested in that. If I come up with a great way to store this, I'll be sure to let you all know too. But that's all I got for today. I'll be back soon with more videos. Until next time, enjoy your games, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.